Hey guys, Bridge here, and in this video we're going to talk about how to bring your dashboard design skills to the next level. Now, dashboards and web apps in general are going to be an essential part of your UI UX design skill set. And the very first principle which we're going to explore is this principle of hierarchy. And as you can see, we currently have this UI kit open, which you can find, by the way, on UI8. It's called Cryptoly, and it's a really cool crypto focused UI kit. Now, that being said, let's talk about the basics of dashboard design and what is really crucial to nail right from the start. Now, granted, this is a UI kit, so the goals are going to be different, but one of the things which stands out here is that there is a lot of information, which is something which most dashboards are going to have anyways, and it's really important to create a hierarchy within all the information and all the content which we have here. So let me explain. Each and every client which you're going to have and each and every screen is going to have a certain goal, and it's crucial to understand which goals are most important to achieve and which other ones are less important. So see it almost as a pyramid, where at the top of the pyramid there's going to be the very most important thing that the user needs to either learn or take action upon when he lands on this dashboard. And as you go down the list, there's going to be less important elements, such as maybe a notification which is not really important. And at the top, you might have things like you really need to understand like the overview of your crypto portfolio, because that's the very most important thing that a crypto user or a crypto investor wants to learn immediately once he lands on the dashboard. So it's really important to create this order of hierarchy and to figure out what the user really needs or wants at this particular stage and in this particular screen. So in this case, we have a lot of information, but the order of hierarchy isn't really created in a way which is really clear. Now, as a basic rule of thumb, usually the elements which are going to be on the top are going to have more visual emphasis than the ones on the bottom. Now, you also want to consider that in Western countries, the left is where the most attention is going to be. And the more you go towards the right, there's going to be less and less attention. So this section right here is what is going to drive the most amount of attention and focus right away. And the reason being is that we read from left to right. So our eyes are naturally almost trained to view this section first and this other section later. And the same is true from the top. This is going to be the most emphasis, and the bottom there's going to be less emphasis. So one of the things which you might want to consider, for example, if you wanted to make a section stand out, is to maybe use a different type of color. So if you do something around these lines, you can see immediately how this stands out more. And there's different colors that you can use, different combinations, but the most important thing to consider is that you want to achieve a specific goal. So you're not using colors or typography or other elements just for the sake of aesthetics, but you're purposely doing this for a reason. So this is something which is really key, and that you can apply pretty much throughout each and every screen. So this is another example. So as you can see, the very first thing that's going to stand out in this screen is going to be this section, and the graph is really taking a lot of visual emphasis. Now, why is that? Well, they use colors purposely in a way, and that makes them stand out. But not only that, this section is really big. So this section has more visual emphasis than this one here because of both the color combination and also the size and the height. Now, other things that you can consider and that you can clearly see is that this exchange button is going to have a lot of visual emphasis when it comes to the main call to action in this screen. And this is especially true compared to, for example, this buy and sell button. As you can see, having a solid button is going to drive much more emphasis than outline buttons, hence why outline buttons are really good as secondary buttons instead of primary buttons, and so on. Now, another thing I want you to consider is that there's a lot of token discussions and also a lot of dribble shots with animations, interactions, and those things. And when it comes to dashboard design, but also web design in general, you want to keep it to a minimum since you don't want to overwhelm the user with a lot of loading times and animations which are not going to be beneficial for the end user experience. So you always want to focus the most amount of the effort and the work on the actual UX structure. So having a solid structure and visual design, and see the interactions and the animations as an added bonus, which is going to be created and crafted around the user needs. So that's one of the most important things to consider. You don't want to overdo that too much. So hope this video was helpful, and I want to remind you that on my channel I have over 400 videos on UI UX design. I myself have been a UI UX designer for over 9 years now, and I'm pretty much sharing my knowledge for free. And by the way, I also released a free course on how to get started in this field, which you can check out in the link in the description. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.